A wind-whipped fire in Jefferson County. People in Morrison and Lakewood told to be ready to leave their homes today. That fire was sparked by a power line that was pulled down by those dangerous winds.
The response was fast and intense as crews worried that we'd have another Marshall fire on our hands. The fire burned near Matthews Winters Park, forced pre-evacuation orders for parts of Morrison and parts of Lakewood. Those notices were lifted late tonight. Now, the fire did burn 40 acres. Got so close to Red Rocks that a concert there had to be postponed tonight. First Alert meteorologist Lauren Whitney tracking conditions for the weekend for us. We start our coverage, though, with Alan Janae with the very latest on this fire. Alan.
Well, Karen, thankfully tonight there is no fire to see in the background behind me through this darkness. That's because it's knocked down. Now, this was a fire that gave them a lot of trouble. Firefighters know they have to hit it hard and hit it fast. It started on that side of 93. Red Rocks is over here. It was not affected other than the cancellation. But the fire, driven by heavy winds, ran up the hogback with winds at about 45 miles an hour. As viciously as the wind was blowing, as much as the fire was moving, it was hard not to be concerned.
I'm just checking it out just to make sure he doesn't cross this side of the highway.
But hopefully they can get it out quick, because once it comes over this side, I think some homes are going to be in danger.
But it did. The fire first ran up the west side of the hogback with big flames helping it climb. Then it blew over the top. Piles of smoke were cast over the ridge. Spot fires started. Fred and Debbie Chambers don't live very far away.
It's about a half a mile that way.
Half mile that way.
So if it gets onto Green Mountain behind us, very bad for our house.
Jill Locken picked up her kids after her son's Red Rocks Elementary closed early.
Definitely hope they're keeping an eye on it, and I'm glad that they're, being safe and taking care of the kids and evacuating. So.
But for firefighters, it was hard work.
It was brutal for the firefighters that were up on those ridges trying to fight the fire, trying to find their footing.
But they found enough, using water and knocking the fire down little by little. As things quieted, an investigator and Xcel Energy showed up, looking at a downed line. In this area, close to Wildland Interface, it was a fire that could have become a disaster.
Ever since the Marshall fire, this is the scenario we've been worried about. Coming off of the hill here and going through our area.
Well, tonight I'm told the investigator of this fire has determined that it was that downed power line down by the wind that did start the fire. Now, there will be firefighters here all night long, making sure it doesn't flare up again. In Morrison, I'm Alan Janae, covering Colorado First. Good night, Jim.
Alan, they did such a great
you,
job. Yeah, thank you.
Right now, I want to get to First Alert meteorologist Lauren Whitney. Lauren, we're hoping for a calmer weekend, but there's still some danger.
Yeah, there will still be some red flag warnings out there. We'll talk about those in a second. I want to show you what's happening right now. Still a little gusty around the state, but not nearly as bad as earlier today. Earlier today, the Eastern Plains had 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. Still gusty from Salida through Saguache and Del Norte and up towards Leadville. As we head on in to the Denver area, we are much calmer, but it is still a little windy out near DIA. We have 24 mile per hour gusts, and it's calmed down significantly as we head into parts of the foothills up towards Netherland and Blackhawk. Winds are about 14 miles an hour right now. Still gusty up in Estes Park and Red Feather Lakes, and it will still be windy in the foothills overnight tonight through tomorrow. And tomorrow we have another red flag warning starting at 11 a.m. Wind not quite as strong as it was today, but it'll still be gusty out there from the San Luis Valley, Park County, and all the way out toward the Eastern Plains. So the fire danger is not over, and we actually see more of these on Sunday. So we'll break down more of your First Alert forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Lauren, thank you. The Loveland High School principal has been placed on leave while the Thompson School District investigates a confusing school closing. Wednesday morning, staff members were told there was a threat against the school. Police investigated and found the threat was a hoax. But teachers left for the day anyway, forcing the school to close. And we've heard from parents who say their kids were actually left alone in the classrooms. Even the school board is having trouble getting the whole story behind exactly what happened.
I think it's important we understand what happened, because thank goodness it wasn't a real threat. I mean, in this day and age, we should really make sure that we're prepared, because student and teachers' lives are at stake, and they deserve better.
Wednesday's threat to Loveland High was just one of 7 that Loveland police investigated in the past 3 days. Schools statewide have been receiving threats for several weeks now.
And police officers will be back in the Denver high schools when the kids get back from spring break next week. And the school board wants more mental health professionals on the campus as well. But we learned today the district does not yet have a plan for that. The changes are the result of the ongoing gun violence at Denver schools, including last week's shooting at East High. A student wounded 2 staff members, then later killed himself. Tori Mason in Denver tonight. And Tori, you learned getting more mental health workers could be harder than bringing back the police.
Yes, Jim, and DPS already had mental health supports in place, but there's still a lot of uncertainty about beefing up support moving forward. Counselors on the outside are already hearing from families.
DPS is busy securing SROs, but the board had another request: mental health support at every high school. Parents want their peace protected too.
I've been hearing it a lot from students and the parents, wondering, is it safe for me to send my kids to school? Do I need to start exploring homeschool options?
Counselor Bobby Dunham is hearing more concerns of safety in his practice. He's an outlet for many students who didn't know they needed one.
Teens will come in and they'll be like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. My mom's making me come here, and then we don't stop talking for the whole hour.
Last year, the district's pilot program increased school psychologists. The teachers union told us counselors had overwhelming workloads. Durham says practices are busy too.
A lot of therapists in the Denver area, there's a wait list.
But finding an appointment is just one barrier.
It is really difficult that if a student doesn't have the financial resources to, find a private practice counselor, then they might not have many options.
The state's helped thousands of teens since the start of free counseling in 2021. But every week, there are more students who need that support.
It's already difficult to be a teen in high school. And then on top of that, they're sitting there wondering if they're safe in their classroom.
Now, East High School students will be off Tuesday for a day of support that'll allow school staff and students to connect to services. We hope to hear more from DPS in the coming days about their plans for mental health support. We're live in Denver. Tori Mason covering Colorado First.
Tori, thank you. Well, more than a dozen Jefferson County schools will close their doors this spring. It's part of the district's efforts to scale back due to declining enrollment. Jeffco is the state's second largest school district with 69,000 students. It currently has the room for 96,000 students. The number of school-aged children in the county has declined by 29,000 over the last 20 years. The district has not yet decided what it'll do with the building set to be vacant, but we do know 2 schools that previously closed are now for sale. Karen Morfitt, one of our community journalists covering Jefferson County for you. She's at Allendale Elementary in Arvada. And Karen, will we see more of these buildings start to go on the market?
Well, Karen, the district says first they need to look internally at what their needs are. Then they can determine what, if any, of those buildings that are soon to be vacant are surplus. The board already determined that Allendale here and another in Westminster are opening the door for big changes.
For years, Allendale Elementary School in Arvada was home to more than 120 students.
I could hear the kids playing, and I could hear the bell ringing, and it always made me feel comforted.
Carol has lived around the block for more than a decade. Now that vacant school and Zerger Elementary, not far away, are slated to get new owners, with more Jeffco properties to follow.
2 properties in the first round, and then the next round where we will bring forward a question for our board in terms of surplus will be August.
The process will take time as they look to sell or lease long term. Lisa Raylu, Chief of Strategy and Communication for Jefferson County, says input from the community about the future will be a priority.
What's important to us is that it is a boost or a lift up to the neighborhood, that folks in the neighborhood are excited about what is potentially planned there, and that it's something that's adding to the neighborhood.
Those living nearby weighed in on what they'd like to see and what they could do without.
I wouldn't want any more housing. We have all kinds of housing going up in the area, and the traffic has gotten really bad.
Thoughts they plan to share when the time comes.
The more people that have a say that, live here, the better.
I don't know that they ever really listen, but...
Now, one thing, if someone wanted to come in and use these properties for something that's unrelated to education, they would need to be rezoned, and that process would be handled by the city in which the schools are located. In Arvada, for the last time, Jim, Karen Morfitt covering Colorado First.
Thanks, Karen.
And if you do have a story idea in Jefferson County, reach out through our tip line on cbscolorado.com.
And a warning, if you park on the streets in Denver, street sweeping season begins next week. It's here. So starting Tuesday, you can get ticketed if you don't move that car on designated days. Be sure to pay attention to those red and white signs on the street. You could get a $50 ticket if your vehicle is in the way of the sweepers. Street sweeping season runs through November.
Oh, and this is Jim's last night here at CBS News Colorado with all of us. Coming up, current and former colleagues share their thoughts on you, Jim.
Oh,
and
boy.
later, Jim's final thoughts before he heads into retirement.
Well, I better write something.
And good thing Jim didn't blow away today because it was so gusty out there, still really windy in some areas. We'll talk more about wind this weekend coming up in your First Alert forecast.
And the Colorado Rockies clearly were not listening to those preseason predictions of doom and gloom. Check out some power at Petco and an early contender for Defensive Play of the Year as the Rocks go for 2 straight wins.
Because it's time.
All right, it is a big night and a sad night here at CBS News Colorado. It's Jim's final newscast on the
I
anchor
think
desk
it's a
with all
fun
of us.
night, Karen.
I know, he's retiring. You get to enjoy all this much-deserved time.
Absolutely. We'll meet the family a little bit later on, but you and I have both been blessed to be here. We have worked with the most talented and most fun people in the business. A great newsroom. Jeff Todd talked to some of my current and past colleagues as I stumble into retirement.
We have each other's back all the time, and I think that's critical.
Jim and Karen teamed up almost 15 years ago.
What I've learned from him is to come in ready to go all the time. And when I'm here to give, not 100%, but 110 to 115%.
But Karen says she actually sees too much of Jim.
You know, he doesn't use all of his vacation, you know, because he loves what he does so much.
This is News 4 Colorado.
Jim's first co-anchor here was Kathy Walsh in the early 1990s.
He used to tell me, I tell the jokes, Kathy, not you.
He's an intimidating figure. He's a large man with a large cranium. And it's sometimes intimidating when you're around him. But he's the nicest guy in the world with the quickest wit.
Vic's here. We're talking Rockies.
Yeah.
How'd they do?
Oh, no.
They didn't play.
Vic Lombardi shared the set with Jim for more than a decade.
He'd put on his granny glasses, and he'd go to work on those scripts. And I really admire that.
He knew everything about everything. And I still, to this day, love that he will bring me newspaper clippings. But Jim's always paying attention to the news locally, nationally, and how it has impact on people.
Jim has been a pillar of the newsroom and a vital connection to the community.
When I think of Colorado, I think of Jim Benemann. He's warm, he's engaging, he's believable, he's funny.
You have the wit and charm of a sportscaster and the haughtiness, H-A-U-G-H-T, of a newscaster. And somehow you make it all work.
Retirement is lovely. I would say, do whatever you want. I know he wants to travel. Take advantage of it because, you know, he's not getting any younger.
None of us are, Walsher.
Words of wisdom from Kathy.
Absolutely. And I prefer the term grandpa glasses, not granny glasses. So anyway, but it's been a great run.
I know. I'm so sad. You're going to make me cry.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? Before we break out in tears, Lauren, take it away.
Yeah, well, the weather will be a little bit better this weekend. It was a little wicked out there earlier today, but what we're watching in the First Alert Weather Center is it will still be windy in many areas tomorrow, but we do get some warmer temperatures and some sunshine, and then we'll also talk about when cooler temperatures will return. Now, at this point, it does look like the rain should come later in the day or into the evening, so it looks like we may be A-OK out there. But we certainly cool off quite a bit by Tuesday. We're back down to those 40s. We just can't get a nice warm streak to stick around with us.
No, kind of all over the place, Lauren. Thank you. Well, sports is next. Then Jim with his final words to CBS News Colorado's viewers.
The First Alert Weather Tracker, tracking the storm and your drive every hour, keeping your family safe. Driven by West Shore Home. Fast, easy, and convenient. When you need to know, turn to CBS News Colorado.
Breaking news live as it happens. Top headlines every half hour.
Every newscast streaming live.
Your First Alert weather every 10 minutes. When we know, you'll know.
CBS News Colorado. Stream it now.
Well, a big Western Conference matchup between the Denver Nuggets and Phoenix Suns lost quite a bit of steam before tip tonight. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope all sitting this one out. Sounds like tomorrow will be an exciting day. if the Broncos plan to wear orange Crocs on the field. Tomorrow is, of course, April Fool's Day. So, guys, you know, we got to be careful tomorrow online. Just a fair warning to everybody out there.
You never know what's going to be true.
Never know.
Have some fun with it, though. We'll be right back. Well, I've waited 45 years to deliver this script, but don't worry. Oh, my God, I knew it. I'd get nervous. It won't take nearly that long. This is my last newscast here at CBS 4 as I ride off into retirement. Without a doubt, my overwhelming emotion is gratitude. Grateful to all the amazing people I've been blessed to work with. You know, I wish you could go behind the scenes here at Channel 4. Great journalists and good cheer fill the halls. The folks you never see but help make this a news operation truly recognized and respected all around the country. Editors, assignment managers, producers, directors, photojournalists, the best in the business. Fake news, slanted reporting, you won't find it here. We come to work every day to uncover and report the stories that matter to Colorado and often highlight what kind of state we're going to leave to those who follow us. Our team is determined to get it right and report it straight. Local journalism matters now more than ever before. I'm also so grateful to all of you who have been inviting me into your homes for these many, many years. You know, Michael Spencer, my old pal, will be taking over my chair. And along with Karen, Lauren, and Romy, it's an absolute A-team that you'll be able to count on for many years to come. Thanks again for all the goodwill you've shown me over these many years. But one last favor. Please don't tell my mom you saw this. She still thinks I'm a doctor.
Oh, Jim.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, Lauren, or I should say Reagan, come on up. And hi, everybody. Richie. We're trying to go for a more youthful demographic. So Reagan is Karen's new vacation fill-in on the anchor seat. How you doing?
Good.
Did you get enough cookies?
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Richie, welcome to the team. Great having you around.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Good, buddy.
Got to stick around for another 45 years?
Hopefully.
We'll see what we can do. But thanks, everybody. And everybody I work with here at the station who might be watching elsewhere, thanks, everybody. You made it great fun and a tremendous experience.
A few more words when we come right back.
First Alert Weather is sponsored by Lifetime Windows and Siding. Get 40% off your entire project and 24 months same as cash financing.
Our family grew during the commercial break. Look at this. Isn't this fantastic?
Our ratings doubled tonight. Unbelievable.
Jim.
All right, everybody. Now that I'm retired, I'm warning you, I'm going to have a lot more time to spend at your homes. So start to tidy up.
Yeah.
This is the gang, everybody.
Some of them, right? You're still missing a few families.
That's right, Drew. And we've got, some relatives and some brothers and sisters and daughters and sons in Los Angeles. But hopefully they're watching some other way.
And I know, Karen, I don't know if you're Mike. This is Jim's wife, Karen, back here. What are you going to do having him with you all the time now? You have somebody to cut the grass and cook you dinner.
Well, they haven't thought that far yet.
I'll be on a strict schedule every day, I'm sure. Everybody, can't thank you enough. So many wonderful years. Thank you for watching.
And we love you, Jim. We're going to miss you.
Thank you, Jim.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Have a great night, everybody.